So hello! Well, today I'd like to take a look at this, which is a collection of bits and bobs that I've got from, well, my sort of childhood, adolescence, I suppose, that I've saved over the years. Well, one of my most favourite of all actors was Roger Moore. And this is a wonderful book by a chap called Paul Donovan. If you've not come across it before, you can still find copies of it, even in hardback, although this one's a softback copy because I'm a cheapskate in it. I've got all sorts of bits in here. There's some things that you might probably want to see because they're personal items in it, like me and pictures of Roger's wife, you know. I'm joking, but there you go, 1983 to Paul Donovan. But yeah, an awesome actor. Long gone now, unfortunately. Died many years ago. But he used to live close by to me because I was brought up with him as a kid. I was brought up. Well, Roger was from Streatham, or St Wreatham, as we used to call it in London. Joking, of course. There's all sorts of things like Thornton Heath was known as Fort Neath, you know, Fort Neath. But he was actually a very clever artist, Roger. He studied to be an artist. He could do caricatures very well. That was his father, who was a policeman, and that was his first wife. It was beautiful. And he later became an actor after his national service as an officer. Became an actor, and he didn't fare that well at first, but later he went to Hollywood, and I think he won a contract with MGM. They used to call him the Big Knit because he used to model woolen jerseys of the 50s, you know, which was how to make money. And then he met Dorothy Squires, who was a famous Welsh singer, and they got married, and she launched his career, I suppose, really. Although she was quite a bit older than Rog. He was probably in his 30s when Dorothy was in her 50s, but nothing wrong with that. Why not? You know, go for it if you fancy each other. And there they are signing autographs. But yeah, effectively, MGM, they did use Roger, and he did a couple of really good movies with great big film stars, you know, like Elizabeth Taylor. And all sorts of other things. Lana Turner, another favourite of mine from way back. You know, she's long gone, bless her. But when I was a kid, I'm watching movies, innit? And all sorts of other gorgeous creatures like Angie. What was her surname? I can't remember now. I've got to look it up. Angie Dickinson. That's right, Angie Dickinson. And yeah, it's all good. It's all good, baby. And then he went to Ivanhoe and got a load of good TV jobs with The Saint. And he got a nice house there, like in Gordon Avenue in Stanmore, which was just down the road from where I used to live. Ironically, just down the road from where I was brought up. And then he got married again to Louisa Mattioli, who was an Italian lady. Although that's not actually his wedding, that's Kenneth Moore, another friend of his, although spelt differently, M-O-R-E, not M-O-O-R-E. And the beautiful Angela Douglas. Oh, it's starting to rain, which is no good at all, because I can't have this book out in the rain. That's him marrying Louisa Mattioli, isn't it? And that's the house that he used to live in, down the road from where I was brought up, Sherwood House, Tile House Lane in Denham. It was later bought by Paul Daniels, and it was his last home. These notes are. That's what Louisa, his wife at the time, they were gutted to have to sell it, but of course Taxman took all the money, didn't they? So Roger used to earn £1 million for a film that he made, and the Taxman took 999,000 of it, and he was left with the odd penny. I'm going inside. Sorry about this, guys and girls. We're moving because I'm not having this stuff wet. That's a fact. So we're going to have to shift. We're going to have to shift this video in it because I'm not having it wet because it's too important a stuff thing for me. sadly started to chuck it with rain. So, carrying on, moving on forward. Let's go for it. We're back with a book. Anyway, let's cut to the chase. Roger Moore, James Bond Mark III. So first of all, there was Rake the Brain, David Niven. Casino Royale, the original James Bond was David Nives. And then, of course, it was Sean Connery. That's a sniffage face. And then, of course, there was Roger Moore, who in actual fact is my favourite Bond. And although I do like Sean Connery, look at him there with the most voluptuous and gorgeous Jane Seymour. In fact, she still looks awesome nowadays, well into her 60s, I suppose, or maybe even 70s. And also the beautiful American actress Gloria Hendry, who was in Live and Let Die, one of my most favourite movies. Anyway, moving swiftly on because this video will be too long otherwise. Yeah, Roger was quite the action man, that's a fact. Oh, lovely. Britt Eklund and Maud Adams. I remember Roger being in an interview and he said, and he was asked, how do you cope with being with all these lovely women? And he said, it's a tough job, but somebody has to do it. Well, that was a poor impression. It's a tough job, but somebody has to do it. That's an even worse impression. Never mind. Christopher Lee. He was tall, you know. He was about 6 foot. Roger was 6'1". Christopher Lee was like, hang on, 6'7" or something ridiculous like that. He probably got his knees bent at this point in that photo. She's lovely. Barbara Bach. She's married to Bingo Starr. Bingo Starr is a drummer in the Beatles. I think, or was it the Ruttles? I can't remember now. They were a famous band from Liverpool. Joking. She's Ringo Starr's wife, and they've been together for like ever. So good luck to them. Anyway, what I'm moving towards. Look at that. Gosh, wouldn't you have liked to have been Roger? Well, I would have done anyway. Liked to have been Roger Moore. But in the sort of mid-70s, he made a Bond film called The Spy Who Loved Me, David Nives, amongst many others. I think, anyway, trust me, it was 76 it was made, and I think it came out in 77. And I've got the toy for it, look, which is awesome. And if we go in there, if we raid the box, as it were, you can find that that's the car. This is a lovely little thing. This all folds into it. Look, you can do that. It's the Lotus Esprit. And I remember my friend's father had one of these, and when we used to live in Watford, and he managed to buckle it around a tree somewhere near Berkhamsted, which was about 12 miles away. Probably thought he was James Bond, no less, and just bent it round a tree with Miss Moneypenny. But no, he did. But this one was awesome because it was a submarine. And look, if you press on this thing in it, it pops it all out. Corgi Toys 007 Lotus Esprit. Big shout out to Izzy's channel, because I know you like collecting model cars and what have you, and so do I. I don't have. There's no way I've got the collection that you've got, mate. Sarge, as I call him, because I was a corporal in the cadets, and Izzy was a sergeant, a real deal in the military, in the American military. So hats off to you, sir. But that's the mini version of it, and that was the. Is that in focus? I hope so. That was the little sort of version, Corgi Juniors they used to call them, which obviously you can't, you know, won't do the thing like that one can. But I've got another one in it. Hang on. Let's tip it out, because otherwise we'll be here all day, innit? But these black things hold the car into the box somehow. I don't know how. Never worked that out, how they did that. Although I did take it out. Those things connect the car to its packaging, as it were, which is original packaging. This is not a reissue. This is the real box that it came in the car. It's a lovely box. I like it a lot, innit? As I always say. But for those of you that are into the collecting, it's from the film The Spy Who Loved Me. Really nice film. Really crazy movie. And look, it's got the original bits and bobs. That one's upside down. It shouldn't be. This is the original. You can see by the. That's called ochre. I learnt that at school, didn't it? That's called ochring when the paper turns yellow through age. But that's the original instruction leaflet as to what you can do as a kid with the car. Actually, my original one, it went into a swimming pool and I lost it. Went down the vent. Can you believe this shit? I can't make this crap up. I tell you, the one I had, this one works as well. Look. The one I had, I was playing with it in a swimming pool in Guernsey on holiday, and I dropped it because I'm a clumsy little shit. And it went floating down into the deep end and just literally got absorbed by the swimming pool vents. And my dad tried desperately to sort of contact the maintenance man, but he was away at the time, and so the car's probably still there to this day, sort of probably rattling around, and they're thinking, why is the chlorine coming out so fast? Anyway, no, it's true. But look, you could put the missiles, these missiles, you loaded them in as a kid, didn't you? You loaded them in, because it was all part of the film, when Roger's underwater with his daughter, no, with some lovely lady, and another lovely lady is in a helicopter above, and so he uses like an exocet type thing, and that's what this is. Like, it pops them out. Bingo! Oh, on the way they go. Lost them. No, I haven't. There's the original frame that these little bullet things came in, so I've got all of it. Isn't it? That's sweet, isn't it? And this one's the Mini, as I say. So I hope you found this of some interest, because it's getting on a bit now, this video. But I really fully enjoyed all of Roger Moore's films, and to have these little cars is absolutely awesome. The reason why I've got this one is because although this one is in much nicer condition, the rockets don't fire out of it. They have these problems, so that's the thing to watch out for. When you're buying these, check the description, because sometimes little bits and bobs on it aren't working. And although this is working really well with the fins, they call these, the fins, is it sort of, in the original film, this opened up, the wheel went underneath it. It was a bit, I felt very disappointed, I may have said, when I saw this with his trolley wheel things. I thought, oh really, I was hoping that the wheels would do the same. But in the original film, the wheels kind of go up into the car, it closes, and then out come these submarine vents, which are operated on this model by this black grille. And that flicks it out, so that works nice. Sweet. And on this one too. And although, as I say, this one is not as nice order, because it's got more scratches and the sticker's a bit shunted on it, at least the rockets fire out the back of it, where it says Lotus. So anyway, I think I'll wrap it up there. Give you a cough. Look at that, I'm watching Sandra Bullock, one of my most favourite actresses ever. I just love Sandra Bullock. In fact, I write to her weekly and say, look, if ever you need a man, you know, I'm waiting for you. I'm joking, of course, I'm not stalking, but well, I wish I was though. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching, as always. All the very best. The James Bond Lotus Esprit Corgi 269 review. You saw it here first on Jim Timber channel, innit? Yeah. Okay, cheers.